July the 9th, 2020. As you're looking at a wide view of the eastern Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, we'll pause this a moment. You're getting one of your first hurricanes in the East Atlantic right here. It should be a hurricane sometime today if it already hasn't. Another system that has been fighting this dust storm is right here. It's not being watched by the National Hurricane Center. More than likely, it will pull across the peninsula. If the only other option would be to move north and northwest across the Yucatan. But right now, it's not being watched by the Hurricane Center, and you've got a lot of flow that is moving straight across. But now here is what would become Tropical Depression Faye. National Hurricane Center has sent out the hurricane hunting aircraft, and they've taken a look at it, and it is now at 90% chance of development. We're going to look at that one a lot closer. And you've got another system here. We're going to keep an eye on it. What you're seeing, though, is a lot of dust in the atmosphere, and some of the strongest, notice this cloud and most dense that I've seen so far this year is in this area. Now, let me play it forward. Look at that as it in these last frames of today coming off there. It's really starting to get thick. We'll watch that. And these storms at this time of year battle these dust storms. And you can see where a low pressure system is trying to cut the stream in half. We'll keep an eye on it. It is time to start watching for the African spawn systems that come out into the Atlantic and form. Let's take a closer look at here off the coast of North Carolina. And if you look at the size of the area that's being affected, it's very large. Your center of circulation now is just offshore, and that's what's going to give it the strongest potential for strengthening. Once it gets all the way offshore, it will allow the center of circulation, and it's actually they're looking at two different centers, or the main one reforming in a different area. But as if it gets completely offshore, which it may do, guys, as it heads up towards Long Island in this area, when it steps off into this area, the entire center will be offshore, and that's going to be some of your strengthening. Now, I've been kind of keeping an eye on it this morning, waiting for this later update. And I have looked at some of the beach cams along the Carolina coast, both north and south, and it's been pretty decent so far. Some rain, a lot of people still enjoying the beaches, fishing, surfing, swimming, things like that. But as this storm forms, again, we'll look at it. Right in here is what they're watching as far as the closest area. Now, if you see what's going on with this, these long streams that are coming through Arkansas, central Mississippi, down through Alabama and the Florida Panhandle, are part of the way this system is pulling in these bands. Very different weather pattern here, as you see early in the day. But that's how much energy has been pent up. Now that's July the 9th, as far as heat in the ocean. And this is nature's way of getting rid of it. And you can see here where your rain is in the entire system. You've got it, again, pulling from this band down across Florida and then curving back up. But to the top right, which is most storms, is going to be the strongest area. But right now, it is because it's offshore completely. Once it gets out of this dry air, as it moves forward, guys, you're going to have to watch it further up the coast. It could be a direct hit on the Long Island, so pay attention to that. Now, both your 2-day and 5-day forecast has this system at a 90% chance of development. This says 5 days, but the 2-day forecast is the same. As of 2 p.m. Eastern Time today, which was about an hour ago, shower and thunderstorm activity associated with a low-pressure area located near the Outer Banks of North Carolina has continued to increase and is showing signs of organization. Recent satellite and radar imagery, along with surface observations and data from an Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft that is just beginning to investigate the system, suggests that a new center of circulation could be forming east of Cape Hatteras. It says if these development trends continue, this system is likely to become a tropical depression or storm later today or tonight. The low is expected to move northeastward along the mid-Atlantic coast tonight through Friday night. Regardless of development, the system is expected to produce locally heavy rainfall that could cause some flash flooding across portions of eastern North Carolina, the coastal mid-Atlantic, and possibly along the North Carolina Outer Banks today, and along the mid-Atlantic and southern New England coast Friday and Saturday. It says interest in these areas should monitor the progress of the system and refer to products from the local National Weather Service. And that's a good idea, guys. We have the hurricane link on the left side column on bpearthwatch.com. Just scroll down to hurricanes and you'll see this information. Again, you can see this path is pretty much keyed in to the Long Island area. You get a strong tropical storm. By then, guys, we've seen flooding in the area, in the New York area, before from these storms. But I just wanted to update this. Keep an eye on it. Again, possibly today this thing will be a tropical depression or storm, and which would be Fay, F-A-Y. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.